Roxanne.
Listen, while they say actions speak louder than words, it seems that most of my good deeds go unheard. All this time you wonder if I love you still, or if love's habit has replaced love's thrill. So I'm writing you this song and hoping it will right this wrong impression. Listen, listen, listen to my eyes the way they look into yours. Listen to my hands the way they lock onto yours. Listen to my thighs the way they enfold you. Listen to my arms the way they hold you. Listen to my feet the way they rub against yours. Listen to my tongue the way it rubs against yours. Listen to my skin the way it glistens and glows. Listen to my lips the way they glisten and glow. Can you hear me say it now? Can you hear me say it now? Every part of me is speaking, with every bone down to its marrow, every pulsing cell through every vessel, every pore and hair upon my skin, every taut and rippling muscle, every atom of me sings. Other, please explain. You know that census we occasionally get at work where you have to indicate who you are, and I always have to check other, please explain. And here's my explanation. You may think you know all there is to tell from the freckled fairness of my skin, by the dark depths of my black tresses, when you hunt for the pupil in the iris of my eye. Observe the manner of my dress, by the New York dialect spoken, the way I say my dog and ferry, the quick pace of my street strut, the way I order black coffee and a bagel with just a smear of cream cheese, and when these observations are combined with a family name given, you may draw your own conclusions of my origin, forgetting white is not a color, but full spectrum. And I, like most Americans, descend from immigrants who fled for famine, war, and pogrom in search of safe harbor to take root and raise their children, or came here locked in chains and stolen. You may think you know all there is to tell when you see the cinnamon color of my mother's complexion, the jet black shimmer of her hair and eyes, the bright red pout of lipstick, and hear in the Castellano, now rarely spoken, the sound of castanets, the fast-footed tap of the flamenco dancer when she tells you of her pet pig, Leonora, trotting across the slate floor of her bedroom, shared with her big sister, this room wallpapered with Sunday comets, lit by lace-draped sunny windows, cooled by the noisy, rickety ceiling fan incessantly spinning. You may hear the screams of spectators at the bullfight as she mimics a pair of jade-green parrots hiding in the rafters, chortling curses at los futbolistas, the victorious beer-laden soccer players passing in the street below her window, or hear the high-pitched cry of the condor, the winding whistle of the flute, the panpipe of the Quichua, when she recollects the rock candy her father brought home, bulging in his pockets in their brightly colored wrappers from his weekly trip to the market, where the indigenous people come down from Andes Mountains to sell their wares, or the names of little towns dotting the shoreline and the valley, like Hippihapa, Esmeraldas, Puerto Cayo, Puerto Lopez. You may hear mallets pounding the marimbas of the Afro-Ecuadorians, or the grunts of bent-back slaves working in the fields, as she recalls a white-haired grandfather's plantation, gridded with rows of tobacco, corn, coffee, and cane, its silos and barns overflowing with beans and sugar, his wrinkled skin the color of roasted coffee leathered by the sun, the creak of his rocker upon the wooden slats of the porch, or the dozens of cousins of every shade and color running and playing all summer long in his orchards. Then she draws in your head a portrait of her father soling shoes in his cobbler shop for the village, like his father's father did before him, in some village across the continent, across the ocean, in a land shaped like a boot. Then you see the square-cut, broad brown faces of her two elder brothers already living in America. And remember that more than half of the population of Ecuador is mestizo. And you may know that more than a little bit of the Mediterranean, the Amazon, and the Congo is flowing in my roots.